In this video, we are going to understand about the Second World War. We will have a detailed discussion about the introduction of the Second World War, and we will also discuss the main causes who were responsible for this Second World War. So let's begin. So welcome back. In this video, we are going to understand about the main causes which were responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. So let's begin. If we talk about the Second World War, the Second World War is the most disastrous war in which 78 to 80 million people lost their life and many more were injured and wounded. If we talk about the main causes of the Second World War, it can be called the results of the First World War were mainly held responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. The Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles is mainly held responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. We will discuss in detail about the Treaty of Versailles in this video. Actually, the First World War was mainly responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. As the results of the Second World War, it is a Second World War can be treated as a type of the revenge of Germany, which were seen in the form of the Second World War. There were main two groups who were responsible for aggravating the Second World War. These groups are Allies powers and the Axis power. The Allies power were mainly democratic countries, which were USA, UK, United Kingdom or the Great Britain, USSR and China. China was partially responsible. He was partially involved in the outbreak of the Second World War. The main countries were USA, UK, USSR. And if we talk about the Allies power were Germany, Italy, and Japan. All these countries were non-democratic countries. Somehow we can also say that the First World War was a war between two ideologies. All these countries believed in the democracy, and all these countries, the Allies power believed in democracy and the Axis power countries believed in authoritarianism or one-party rule. During that time, Germany was ruled by Adolf Hitler, who is held primarily responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. Italy was also ruled by Benito Mussolini. He also believed in the one-party rule. And Japan was ruled by a monarch, Hirohito. He also believed in non-democratic ideas. So all these Axis power countries were non-democratic and they were believing against democracy. All these countries were against democracy. So let's begin about the main causes which were responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. If we talk about Allies power and the Axis power, so these are the pictures you will never forget. Please see this picture for some time so that it will be unforgettable in your life. Let's begin. So the Second World War, it can be called a most disastrous war so far happened in the history of human being. It is the most deadliest conflict in the human history, marked by 70 to 85 million people over the globe lost their life. It included the massacres, the genocides. The genocides means the mass killing. If a group of people of a large amount are killed together, it is called the genocides. The Holocaust is also some kind of mass killing of the people. Strategic bombing premeditated death from starvation and disease, and the only use of nuclear weapons in the war. In this war, two nuclear bombs were used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which were the prosperous city of Japan. So we will discuss everything in after some time. If we talk about the beginning of the war, Germany is mainly held responsible. Germany is mainly held responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War under Adolf Hitler. So on 1st September 1939, Germany attacked on Poland. Now, why Germany attacked Poland? If we talk about Poland, it is mainly a buffer state between Germany and Russia. Even before attacking Poland, Germany attacked a number of the countries like Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia is a country which was attacked by Germany. Saar Basin. The Saar Basin, it is mainly famous for the coal field, for the coal mines. Alsace-Lorraine, it is a part of Europe. Alsace-Lorraine, it was also captured by Germany. So it's, since the very beginning, Germany attacked a very aggressive policy towards the world, and it continued to attack one country after another, and it finally attacked Poland, and Russia even understood that I could be the next target. After attacking and capturing Poland, because it is a buffer state, the Germany will also attack Russia. So France and the United Kingdom declared war against Hitler. Hitler is called mainly responsible. His aggressive attitude and his imperialistic design is mainly responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War. So let's go ahead. I hope you have written. It is also called the immediate cause of the outbreak of the Second World War. So let's move. This is a picture of Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. All these two personalities believed in authoritarianism or one-party rule. Hitler is called the mainly responsible for Second World War. If we talk about the causes of the Second World War, humiliation on the Treaty of Versailles. After the First World War, the Treaty of Versailles was signed. The Treaty of Versailles was mainly deteriorating. It was mainly humiliating and deteriorating Germany. After this treaty, after the Treaty of Versailles, the Germany had to pay the war indemnity. It means the compensation, the money, and the war damages. And the war damages were too huge amount, $33 billion to the Allies' power. The Saar Basin was also taken away from Germany for 15 years. The Saar Basin is mainly a coal mine. The Alsace-Lorraine, it is a territory. It was captured by Germany. It was also given to France. The Polish corridor was given to Poland, and even the Poland was declared as an independent country. The Danzig corridor was made free, and Eupen and Malmedy, it was given to Belgium. Even military limitations were also imposed upon Germany. At the time of the First World War, you should not forget, Kaiser Wilhelm II. Kaiser Wilhelm, he was the king of Germany at the time of the First World War. So in the First World War also, Germany is mainly held responsible for the outbreak of the First World War. And even the outbreak of the Second World War, Germany under Hitler was held responsible. So this Treaty of Versailles was also responsible, was the mainly responsible for the outbreak of the Second World War, because this Treaty of the Versailles was mainly, it was an immoral limitation upon Germany. Even the military strength of Germany was also crippled. So the military strength of the Germany was also very limited. The main motive of the Treaty of Versailles was to make Germany weak militarily and economically. So far we have in the last slide we have discussed about how Germany was crippled economically. Here, how Germany was limited militarily. Army was limited up to 1 lakh of the soldiers, which is not sufficient to protect a country. Even Navy was limited to 15,000 soldiers. It is also not sufficient to protect any country. The Air Force was banned. The use of the Air Force was completely banned. Submarines were also not allowed. And even Germany was not allowed to keep more than 1 lakh of the soldiers. More than 15,000 of the Navy submarines was not allowed. And even the Germany lost all his countries in Africa. So it was a very harsher impact upon Germany. And Germany, after the First World War, under the rule of Hitler, Germany in a very quick manner modernized her economy. And once again it started preparing for starting those things which were banned under the Treaty of Versailles. Under the Treaty of Versailles, more than 1 lakh of the soldiers were not allowed, and Germany started keeping more than even 1 lakh of the soldiers. Even Germany started the submarines, the Air Force, Germany started. So all these activities were the violation of the Treaty of Versailles. And the France, USA and Britain were maintaining silence on this issue. So the Treaty of Versailles, so far as we have discussed, the Treaty of Versailles was mainly responsible for the Second World War. So now in this we will talk about the fascism and the Nazism. Actually, Nazism is the ideology of Hitler. Nazism is the ideology of Hitler, and fascism is the ideology of Mussolini. It is the ideology of Mussolini, Benito Mussolini. Similarities were there, so much similarities were there between fascism and Nazism, because both were one party rule. It also started the militarization. It annexed in 1938. Hitler annexed Austria and dismembered Czechoslovakia. Thus, both the leaders were against their act and furthered the war. We should also not forget that fascism and Nazism both believed in non-democratic rule and one-party rule. And this fascism and Nazism, it is called mainly responsible for the aggravating the Second World War. Third one is the policy of appeasement. Actually, when Hitler attacking the territories one after another, like Saar Basin, the Saar Basin, it is mainly a coal field, the Alsace-Lorraine, Czechoslovakia, and even Poland, Britain maintained silence on this issue. The USA also remained silent. The Britain and USA thought that the Treaty of Versailles was a humiliating. So if we should allow Germany to conquer these parts, so after conquering these parts, Hitler will maintain silence and his genuine problems will be solved, and he will stop attacking the next countries. But it did not happen. Even after capturing one country after another, Hitler continued to capture the next territories also, and it led to a Second World War. So here we can see the policy of appeasement, the policy of conciliation or aggressive power at the expense of some other countries towards Germany and Italy. Since the very beginning, Germany and Italy were preparing for the war, and they capturing the countries, but USA and Britain maintained silent on this issue because they were thinking that if the genuine grievances of Germany were removed out, the Germany will maintain silent and everything will be solved in a peaceful manner. So it is so these are the main points of the policy of appeasement. You can write down this, and we will move ahead to the next point. Japanese invasion of China. In the year 1931, Japan attacked Manchuria and occupied it. But League of Nations, League opposition, the full form of the League is League of Nations. League of Nations. It is an international organization to maintain peace in the world. League of Nations. It is a mainly international organization to maintain peace in the world. But it took no response after the Japanese attack on Manchuria, and it continued to it did not take any action against Japan for attacking China and Manchuria. So it is also another cause. League's failure to protect peace and to maintain peace is also called as a most important factor for the outbreak of the Second World War. The ineffective working of the League of Nations is the another cause for the Second World War. Let's move. The failure of the League of Nations. Actually, the League of Nations was ineffective because USA was not the member of the League of Nations, and because the great powers were not the great powers were not the members of the League of Nations, it was mainly ineffective. Even Japan left the membership of the League of Nations after it attacked on Manchuria. There was no unity among the whole world who can stand and solve any problem, who can sit together and solve any problem. So the League of Nations had no army in its own. So all these factors have contributed to the outbreak of the Second World War. Now here some confusion you may have. The collective security. The collective security mechanism was not properly working in the League of Nations. The collective security tells that if a single country attacks the another country, if the single country attacks another country, on the basis of the collective security, every country have to persuade him to not to attack. Even if he is attacking, the whole country will stand against the defender country, and it will even pressurize the aggressor, and the whole world will take action, necessary action against the aggressor. So the principle of the collective security was not working in the League of Nations, and it failed to stop the war. Next one is the military alliances. All these countries had formed military alliances among themselves to teach the another bloc a lesson. Britain, France, USA, USSR and China, all these countries had another group, and Germany, Italy and Japan had another group. All these, the Axis power countries, believed in non-democratic ideology. Allies power believed in democratic principle. Democratic principle. Democratic principle and ideology. Seventh one is the ideological conflict, which I have already explained just now. Some countries like USA, Britain and France believed in the liberal democracy, but Italy, Germany and Japan believed in one-party rule. So ideological conflict was also another cause for the outbreak of the Second World War. So whatever the causes I have discussed, each causes are responsible. How the question will come in the board exam, the question can come, explain the ideological difference as a cause of the Second World War, explain the failure of the League of Nations as the cause of the Second World War, or explain the policy of appeasement as a cause of the Second World War, or the fascism and Nazism. Explain fascism and Nazism as a cause of the Second World War. It can come as a 3 marks or 4 marks question. Even the question can come in this manner: explain any two causes behind the Second World War. Explain any 3 causes behind the outbreak of the Second World War. It can come as a 3 marks or 4 marks question in ICSE board exams. Now let's talk about the immediate cause. The immediate cause at the very beginning we have understood. On 1st September 1939, Germany attacked Poland, and the France and Britain declared war against Germany, because after capturing Poland, the Russia would be the next target. The USSR at that time, the ex-USSR, would be the next target. So Britain and France declared war against Germany. On 3rd September, so it was a date on which the Britain and France declared war against Germany. Now here I have to point out that although Britain and France declared war, but USA came after in 1941. In the 1941, after the attack of Pearl Harbor, America decided to participate in the Second World War. Actually, America was selling arms to Britain and France, but he had no intention to participate in the Second World War. But after the attack of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii Island by Japan, mainly USA decided to participate in the Second World War. So this is the date, it is a date of the attack on Pearl Harbor, 7th December 1941. So actually it is a naval base near Honolulu, Hawaii. It was a scene of devastating attack by Japanese forces. It was mainly a naval base, and Japan attacked on this naval base, in which around 2,400 people lost their life and many more were wounded. And USA had no answer to that. USA was not even prepared for this attack. So it is a number which I have recently said. 2,400 Americans died in this war, and more than even 1,000 people were wounded. So during that time, the US President Roosevelt asked Congress to declare war against Japan. Now what is Congress? It is not a party as in India. It is a legislative body. Legislative body, like Lok Sabha. It is a legislative body. So Congress and the Senate, it is the two houses of the Parliament of America, as we have Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So Congress is also a legislative bodies. It was passed in the Congress, and after that President Roosevelt declared war against Germany and decided to participate in the Second World War. It is a small picture of the Pearl Harbor attack on American naval base by Japanese Air Force. So it's a small picture. I hope that I have been able to make you understand every points. So if I hope everybody has been able to understand. Thank you.